It's heavy on unpacking things. So there's sort of a double meaning that, like, if you are a Jewish person and my partner converted 4 years ago and I'm in the process of slowly converting, I'll probably get in there right after my daughter's bat mitzvah sometime. But Jacob was the case that they gave me, joints full of shake. I be rolling like they pay me. That's a double entendre on joint, but the whole idea is that Jacob fucked his hip up from wrestling God. The punishment that Jacob got for attempting to like challenge God's whatever, or to say I could fuck you up. You're not doing it right. I could do it better. I could beat your ass, God. And then God fucked up Jacob's hip. So Jacob was the case that they gave me. Is like, thanks for the hip, Lord. Um, but yeah, I be rolling like they pay me my per view as I wrestle with this. So that's like pay per view wrestle was earned through all the stress on my wrist. So that's a reference to the original Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie where he faces off against Macho Man Randy Savage, like when he first realizes that he's getting his powers. So fucking around with a lot of reference and stuff. Anyways, are we here? Yeah, that's streaming now, which means that now when I go onto YouTube, I should be able to have this kind of stuff. Imagine one day where like you get on a stream and I'm just like doing the right things on stream. That it's like, hi, I'm third person. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to do these 4 things and I'm really excited to do them with you. All right, let's get started. And then I just start doing the first thing, followed by the second thing, followed by the third thing, followed by the fourth thing. To me, that's a further away goal than write, sing, record, mix, produce, art, video, marketing in less than a week. That's, I feel like I'm going to get there before I get to like best practice YouTube cadence. Because I look at how YouTubers do their shit and it just is insipid to me. If that's how you have to be successful on YouTube, I'm not going to be successful on YouTube. It's like, hey guys, how's it going? I talk like a cartoon and I have a cartoon version of my face. I'm very excited to tell you this really cool thing, but first, let's talk about your fucking stamps. How much do they cost? Everybody's like Mark Maron. And then what I love, my favorite part about it is that you have, in every social media platform, this is just a general gripe as I share this stream with my Patreon. And if you want to actually hear what's happening in the headphones, I would recommend, if you're on my Patreon, transitioning over there right now, because I'm probably not going to turn this speaker back on because it's a vocal take night. And if I turn the speaker on, I'm going to forget, and then it's going to fuck up vocal takes in the background. But yeah, you see like Mr. Beast like look you in the eye and go, I'm going to tell a content creator, before you think you're any good, make 100 pieces of content. Try to improve on every one of those. Then we can talk about what you're doing with your next piece of content. If you haven't made 100 pieces of content yet, don't talk to me yet. And like, first of all, you're not going to be able to talk to Mr. Beast. It's just branding shit. But like second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, I've made thousands and thousands of TikToks. I've tried to improve on every single one. Every single time I'm doing a post, even when it's a shit post, I'm bringing in to bear all of the knowledge from my past posts, and I'm assuming that people know and remember what I've done in the past, and I'm trying to carry their memory through into the reference that I'm currently doing. And also, you know, I'm a fat black dude. The algorithms on social media don't like me as well as they like a conventional, attractive white guy face. And I'm not going to tell you that I think Mr. Beast is a hot guy, but he has enough facial symmetry that when he does a little smirk, people are like, yeah, I could root for him. He seems friendly. He seems like somebody I could trust. You know what I mean? Yeah, the self-market stuff, like, I don't know. This is how I self-market. Like, everybody on the internet is self-marketing. I just like to do a more subtle version of it. I like to, like, you know what it is? It's the Borden versus Angiers, the classic Prestige, right? Are you relying on Flash as the thing that puts butts in the seats? Is it technology, tools, accessories that you've purchased? Because I have fucking plenty of those, right? I could be Angiers any day. But I've also lived my entire life, my whole life since I was a kid, doing these little audio echolalia things and saying a joke and realizing that the joke was way too offensive for the context, and so dialing it back and trying a different joke and getting slapped down and dialing it back. And so when I make a TikTok and it seems to hit right and not miss and be funny but not offensive and be engageable with, none of that is accidental. Years went into that. Minutes went into the TikTok because of the years that happened before. Other people might spend an hour to make the same TikTok. Other people weren't in 8th grade lonely dweebs who were watching too much TV and shit. You know, you take your joy where you can get it. I'm 37. I feel like my best creative years are going to happen sometime between my 50s and my 70s. So I'm actually starting to eat vegetables more frequently because I understand that my instrument has not matured yet. Because it's all of it. It's all, this whole room is the fucking instrument. You know what I mean? Any room I'm in my house, I'm Dr. Octopus in that room. These aren't walls, they're fucking appendages. You know what I mean? All right. Top in here, create video stream, live stream, YouTube style. Fuck it. Let's open this one up. Let's make it a public stream. Anybody on this TikTok, if you want to be on the Patreon tonight, come on through. Get a taste of the experience. Stuck around long enough. Let's make some song happen. Track 3 of the Satellite Office LP, Ramping Up. This song has so many ad-libs and vocals on top of vocals that, like, I had to get the latency right. Because if you don't start with getting the latency right, and then you're trying to do ad-libs on vocals, every single ad-lib has to be nudged, and nudged again, and nudged again. And so if you're going to have 40 ad-libs in a song, or if you're going to have 75 ad-libs in a song, I don't know, I might have 75 ad-libs in this song. I don't want to have to move 75 things. That's a huge waste of time. I also don't want to have to, like, put plugins on every individual track, and I haven't spent a lot of time yet thinking about the quality of the vocal take, just the timing of it. Might not get super far, but I am deepening my understanding of the tool set I'm afforded in this secondary space. The whole idea behind having this secondary recording space, by the way, is that in my last job in tech, before I got laid off, I had a lot of time to make music or work, and I would make the wrong decision a lot of the time on a work day because the first thing I did was musical in the home office. And if the first thing I do in the home office is musical, the home office is music for the day. If the first thing I do in the home office is work, the home office is work for the day. But that sucks worse because then after 6 p.m., you had dinner in your stomach, your kid's not in bed yet, you got this like hour of leeway in the evening, and I can't use it for work in there because I just used it for work in there. But if I have a space that I can work and have some quiet, and then I have a space that's like not just for me, but like there's space and here my kid could come in here. I've actually got the ability to plug in this keyboard. Well, I don't have this keyboard downstairs. I left it upstairs. But I can have a USB keyboard right here that I'm playing. My kid can be playing that also on USB. We can have two different synth sounds. We can write and perform songs together. I designed this space for that. There's a bed in the corner over there. So if I'm like up too late tonight, and I'm going to be, I can tell, around midnight, I'm probably going to start calling it a night. I'll probably actually log off between 12:30 and 12:45. I'll start feeling tired between 1:45 and 2:30. My partner doesn't need to hear any of that shit. So I'm just going to like zonk out over here. Because when I turn the lights off, this wonderful blue to pink lighting, it does wonderful things. Anyways, let's make this stream public. Schedule, no schedule. It happens now. We're already doing it. I was so rushed at the start of this project because I felt like if I didn't get a full album out within a week, there would not be any avenues for me to like reasonably make money soon enough for us to cover the deposit on the bat mitzvah, the groceries, the fucking vet bills, because the dogs keep getting ear infections. The little dog doesn't have Giardia because the medicine worked the first time, but we still had to buy like the maintenance round of the medicine. And so it's like these things happen when you have jobs or when you don't. They're more stressful when you don't because you're sitting there going, "Oh, that's food." When you have a job, it's like, "Oh, that's some toy that I didn't really need," and like whatever. I guess that's not true when you have a job. I'm very privileged because I work in tech when I'm working, and I think I spend so much time on the internet making things for people to hear, in part because this is the kind of stuff that I would love to spend a 35-minute retail shit break watching, you know, when nobody realizes that nobody's selling cameras at Best Buy today, and I'm just in the bathroom. And then if anybody asks you, I can go, hey, I just came in here to try to clean some of the terrible shit off the wall. Why is it that at every other Best Buy, somebody's in there they're smearing? I think it's an art project. I think it might be Banksy's. I don't really know. In any case, I know you're going to be jumping over in a minute. I don't want to keep you waiting. All right, hang on. Public, publish now. It's there. We're live streaming. The only thing I'm missing is where is my that? I need that. I want that. My little this thing needs to be a part of the stream on this thing. So I'm gonna fix it. Cool. See what I did? Look at that. I totally did. I had Chrome up here in front of everything else. Damn it. Oh well. One of these days I'm going to do a better job at OPSEC. Probably shouldn't try to get an internet security job as my next tech gig, huh? Let's see. Oh, cool. So we're streaming. That's happening. Let's get this fixed. Let's go to properties on this window and let's select the window that's actually happening. It's just that easy, folks. Oh, except hang on. It was how'd you get all the way up there? What the fuck are you doing all the way up there? The screen! Oh, that's so cool. So if you're on my Patreon stream right now, and I can't see why you wouldn't be, I set it to public. It's patreon.com/thirdperson. What you'll see is like blackness between two shots of my face in opposite corners of the screen. And then I've also got a shot where you can look down at my computer typing and also at the pad work that I might or might not do. And then you can also see in the top corner that my Elden Ring could pop off at any time. You know, we never know when Divorce Jesus is going to come to town on the stream. Could happen anytime. And then right behind all of it is just blackness. But it's not always blackness, because sometimes when I speak, it speaks this visualized wave into being. And right now, it's not showing it because my color correction is very, very aggressive. So I'm going to click on my color correction and I'm going to up the brightness a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. We're here. We're going to make ramping up. Let's save this as ramping up. Samson Takes. I'm calling this Samson Takes as I save it. What joy. Cool. Now I feel like I'm actually in it. We got X'd in. Armed to record. When I think about my vocal chain and I think about the things that I heard in that vocal take, it's definitely not a perfect recording space inside of the closet, right? So, yeah, it's a weird experience, right? Because there's so many shots, there's so many angles, and you're really getting, it's not exactly a 360 view of the room, but I'd say it's maybe a 270, maybe a 220. I always control my frames much more subtly than I come across. Hey, what's up? I see Joey's avatar up there. Joey Helpish is the one that did the Bob sauce that I just duetted tonight. If you haven't seen that, how's it going? If you haven't seen that, you should go to my profile and like favorite it and share it with all your friends and stuff. It's about how I'm autistic and also a bitch, which is very true. Relatable content, you know? All right. Bring up my lyrics on the computer so I can read them. Oh, goodness. I really can't do anything on that screen, can I? Oh, and OBS is full screened. That's the problem over here. We're going to get out of the full screen. I don't need to be that streamerly, you know? That gives me the opportunity to move my notes over here, bring this little Chrome window over here. I am so grateful. I'm really just so grateful for all the support. I just opened up my email and I see people like who have left money and sent stuff over, and it makes me like almost tear up. But then it also like takes my concentration a little off center. Okay, ramping up. Let's start with those first four. I know what I need to record. That's why I named this live what I named it. I got to keep reminding myself. Some nights you just got to realize it's a confrontation night. Got to confront it. I've got my laptop up on a book so that hopefully the fan doesn't get too loud because it's got some space to like dissipate the outer heat that heats up. Whew. All right, let's try it out. For survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on the rival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Maybe. Living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I. That seems early, doesn't it? Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living. See, now I feel like we've got a different. Am I wrong to hear that? Maybe I was just on top of it too much because I was excited. Let me try again. For survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on the ride. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Alright, try that. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop. No, definitely more on top of it than I thought I was before. So either the latency is changing, which is less likely than just I am hearing things and performing things differently. So we're gonna bring this back. Have it, give or take. Oops, went to the beginning, didn't mean to. 3, 2, 1, 0, negative, 1, 2, yeah! Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on the rival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. That was me. I heard that. Got one ear off now so I can actually hear myself. Look. Fitting for survival, back in the captain. Now I'm gonna be perfectionist about the rhythm to make sure I'm hearing it right again. Yeah, fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. God lit. All right, that's something. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. God lit. All right. I think that's the right timing. Let me get closer to the mic. For survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on the ride. It's very monotone. Let me see if I can find some expressiveness in the take. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on the ride. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', God willing. Hip hopping. We gotta put a little cut between hip and hop. Yeah. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Alright, maybe. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hip. God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. I still feel like I'm a little on top of it, latency wise. Am I really just gonna go back to 20? No, I won't. I'm gonna go to 26. Might all be placebo at this point. Who knows? All right, try it out. Glad you made it, Dustin. Yeah, fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like you paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this, earn through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like you paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this, was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. It's on time now. Now the trick is the mic in the position that I want it to be in? Looking up at the mic feels counterintuitive. And there's a part of me that's like, let me tip the microphone down where it's sitting. And I'm going to try that next, I think. We'll see how that goes. What will I set it on, though? Fidget for survival. Let's run it. Third, fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like you paid me. I purview as I'm. Yeah, okay. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. And God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. I'm purview as I'm. Yeah, all right. We can do something with this. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. Right there. We'll just take a loop to the beginning of bar 15 from the start of bar 9. And it's going to be a weird non-symmetric, like it won't fully fulfill the promise of the 4-bar cadence. But that's fine. We'll just do 6 bars and we're going to loop the shit out of these until I like the vocal sound better. Should I isolate it? Ugh. We're confronting tonight, which means yes, we're soloing the vocal as we dial in the vocal chain. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. Right away by soloing, you can hear all of the room sound. Let's do this together. No, we're not gonna. Sorry, speakers off. It's a public stream, third person at Patreon, or so patreon.com/third person. Head on over there. Check out the sound, how it's supposed to be heard. Are you hearing it okay, by the way, over in the YouTube? Let me know in the chat if you're not. I think that you are. If I hit play here. Fitting for survival. Yeah, you're hearing it. You're hearing something. If it's staticky, let me know. But I don't think it's staticky. Let's see what's happening. We have this track. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. So it's a very boxy. I think I have an EQ somewhere in my plugins, which specifically has a preset for like deboxing some shit. We're talking about this split EQ. Split EQ is an EQ from Eventide, and it gives you transient and tonal EQ. So you can mess around with transient shaping, and you can also mess around with equalization in the same exact thing. I am so far not in that zone. I am in the zone of like, go into repair, go into vocals, go into unbox rap vox. So they literally have a specific, total nerd. They have a specific setting for, hey, rapper, you're rapping in a fucking closet, aren't you? Not a great call, but we got this EQ preset for you. See how it works. Fitting for survival. Back if in we the turn captain's it off, seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I don't know if I'm ever going to be okay with that level of boxiness. What if we just didn't have the mic in the closet at all, right? We've got it right here now, so we can actually duplicate. Now I know what my chain is doing, right? So I can turn it off on this duplicated track. We're going to take this away because we've got a copy of it above. We're going to start here, same exact recording spot. It's like a control group, right? We're getting scientific with it. What I'm going to do now with this microphone is unwrap it from the hook it's wrapped around in the closet so that the cord doesn't get too tangled. Check, 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 check. Part of me is like, just box this, you know? Because when I was recording with this mic into a little shoebox with a bunch of towels in it, that was a real nice sound, not boxy. But also the towels that I was using were these blackout curtains here and here, which are now, part of my room, so they're not part of the mic. So I have to deal with that. It's just how it is. All right, let's try it from just here. Because if this works from just here better than it did in the closet, why the fuck would I stand up to do the takes? Except for energy. That's the non-rhetorical answer to the rhetorical question. Also, I'm seeing right now I have this headphone. I have another headphone over there, And so I'm just like stretching this now. Anyways, you can tell we're putting this together in real time. It's gonna be all right though. I'm glad it sounds good. Hey, and it's nice to see you, by the way. It's been a minute, but I've seen you coming through and like liking the TikToks and supporting, and I really appreciate, as always, to see you here in the stream. All right, so let's do this. Oops. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as they wrestle with this was earned through all the seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. I did too much. Try that again. Undo, undo. I needed to mute my other vocal take so that it didn't mess my shit up. Let's try it again. It's also way too loud. Like I'm red here. I'm red here. Green here. Red. Green. Red. Green. Red. Green. Red. That's I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's try it again though, just in case. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Way too loud. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. I mean, now that sounded better to me. Let's compare and contrast. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave. All right, so maybe the way that this Samson Meteor mic is supposed to work is for me to ride up on a little bit closer, let the proximity effect fill out the sound of the vocal. I like the sound of this take better than I like the sound of the closet take. And I'm saying that mournfully because I did spend about 5 minutes stacking clothes in a perfect arc around the back of the microphone in the closet. Aesthetically, I created something that was cool. It's hard, isn't it? Making music on a stream, like actually making it, like not performing music that was made. This shit is hard because setting up the vagaries of the stream, the various things that can go wrong. Every single thing is a thing like that you're watching to see if it goes. So you're burning your brain a lot hotter than if you're just doing music stuff, and then you're being perceived the whole time. It's definitely not the most ideal arrangement, but it's also like a really fun thing to explore. And because I have a background teaching at coding boot camps, live code sessions are something that I got scared of for the last time in like 2016. It's just not like doing the process in real life. The thing I'm afraid of actually is all the stuff that I speak to. I'm afraid of not confronting it. That's my real fear here. When the salient fear is, what if I didn't do this? What if I didn't set the goal of body doubling my way through my creative process? I wouldn't have one. I'd just be on the PS5 all the time. I'd be getting entertained. It takes a lot more work to entertain than be entertained, especially when you're meta entertaining. You're exactly right. The shit is hard, and I would say it is for the faint of heart, because that's how you get strong-hearted. But it's also not for somebody that doesn't want to feel like actively scared or bad the first half dozen times they try something out. Just yesterday I was like, damn it, I really thought I was going to be able to do a stream, but it's one of those stream setup nights. And by the time I was actually set up to stream, I was like mostly exhausted. I kind of liked that take. This might be the first take that I decide to save. Let's keep moving. Let's get another one. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop. We're gonna just hit those two. Maybe. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of. Okay, I got distracted. I got scared that I was playing through the speaker again. On arrival, I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. It's a good sound from here. I'm wondering, is there a way that I don't have to hold it? But actually, I don't care if I have to hold it. What if I made it look like... This makes it... I feel like I'm playing Chibi Robo. You know what I mean? This looks like a Chibi Robo side character. Alright. Let's check this shit out. Let's try this again. Glad to hear it. About the playback, by the way. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat. Declared living on an arrival. Captain Seat is coming out fast. I'm glad I just heard that, though. Also, I was not recording where I thought I was recording, so let me make sure I'm recording where I think I was recording. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip-hopping till I pop hippin'. God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist. Baby, I paint sling. I could tell I was running out of breath, but everything after purview is kind of a wash because of how bad I must have blown it out on that P. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned. Yup. My purview. Oh my God. Oh. If you could only see the way I redlined from the point of view of Patreon. Cause I'm doing straight. Alright, and I need to also extend this loop now if I'm going to be going longer than 4 or 6 bars. So yeah, the plosive kills the take. We're going to move this over. Boop. Extend this back. Boop. That's the full take. Fitting for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip-hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case so that they gave me. Hang on, I got a pop shield in here somewhere. I don't know if the pop filter is gonna filter my pops though. That's just one of those things. Yeah, it definitely did, right? Like, getting up on the mic is what we like. Here's an interesting thought. If I have a mic stand, here, what do you get for the guy who has everything? I would recommend some sort of a note-taking or organizational system so that that guy can remember everything that he has. Something like this. Come on now. Maybe it's twisted wrong. There, yeah. Kind of, sort of. No, I can just bring it down. I should unplug this. And I should really unplug this too. I'm not gonna though. I'm gonna spin the mic stand. Because I saw this tip on TikTok. Like, why spin a microphone when you could spin the stand? And then they were like, why spin the whole stand? This was the actual tip they gave. They said, why spin the whole mic stand when you could instead make sure that all you had, first of all, was the stand, nothing attached to it. But they were basically pointing out the problem that, like, either I have to unplug this mic and then have to replug it in and, like, reset it in the system, or I have to twist it around and around and then the cord gets all twisty, right? Or we loosen the mic stand. Oh, and he just pulled it apart. Yeah, like that. Pulled it apart. And when it was pulled apart, it's dead simple to screw the mic in. And then you put it back together. This has some tension things that are going to make it hard for me to put it back together, but only if I pinch with my left thumb. My left thumb currently has a tiny taste of what EDS feels like because on Thanksgiving, I tried to pick up a full roasting pan with just my left hand to carry it to the sink for washing, and I stressed my left thumb too much. Uh-oh. I think it might be busted. Nope. It's not. But it was close. I could tell I think I did break something in here, but it's not something that I needed, so it'll be okay. Check, check. Check, check, 1, 2. How do I fuck with the gain on this? How do I change the input gain on the Samson Meteor? I don't even know. Is there a way I can? Let's find out together. I'm in the PDF manual for the microphone. Installing the Meteor mic. That's Windows. I wonder if I go into my audio MIDI settings. I think that's probably where I'll find it. Audio MIDI setup. And then if I say Samson Meteor mic, input, nope. Do I have another one that's the Samson for the microphone? That's weird. Oh, mic 1 and mic 2. So when the computer here is reckoning with, I think you can see what I'm actually looking at because I have it over my Ableton. But this is like my audio input setup. This is the input for the Meteor mic. And I'm pretty sure that this is my... Holy crap. I think that I literally had a positive 13 decibels on the mic. Like a huge amount of gain that was different from any other mic that I've like spoken into from this far away. That's why I was getting so many red lines even talking like from a foot away. I think this will be better. We'll find out though, and we'll find out together. Check, 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 check. One. Can't red line it. Can't red line it even if I tried it. All right. That's a good feeling. Oh yeah, let's pop shield it. Because those P's, it doesn't matter what the dBs are. The P's will still ravage the microphone if I let them. Because I was a choir kid. And there was a kid in choir who was like 2 or 3 years older than me. He was like one of 2 or 3 other black kids in the choir. And I looked up to him kind of implicitly because he also was not a first person. Like I'm a third person because my dad was a second person. And he's a non-first person too. So I was like, this is a non-first person and he's a black person in choir that I can look up to in this weird, mostly white choir arrangement I found myself in. And his thing was that he was always hitting the consonants. And so I kind of followed off that. I became the person in the choir that if the whole choir missed a consonant and I didn't, it was still okay. I got enough of the for everybody. But when that becomes a habit, then you're in the studio, you have to be aware of how your plosives are going to hit the microphone. Because what you're doing is you're basically punching your microphone with a shit ton of air. I don't have this installed right now. Damn it. I took all these things apart in the name of simplicity, but if I had simply just unplugged the microphone and screwed it onto the thing that I had already set up, ironically, I'd probably already be done setting it up. Jesus, how hard do I have to screw this thing before it's done? All right, there we go. Something like that. That's pretty good. I like that. Not bad. Not bad. This feels like a studio setup now, doesn't it? Yeah. Am I pointing too hard in the corner? Sometimes, like, because it's not at the perfect angle, the echoes don't, like, fuck you up. So that's nice. Yeah, the speaker shit is, you're always checking. Is it on? Is it off? All right, let's try this again. This is hard-won progress, but I'm very proud of it tonight. This feels good. When I get into the cadence of being able to come in here in the daytime and like pick up where I left off the previous night, that I think is going to be the real sauce. Like nighttime, setting the table, and then in the daytime we eat. This was the too loud take, so we can fix it up. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case. Yeah, that's this is the waveform that we want to see when you do an energetic vocal take close-ish to the mic. Fitting for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. You can hear a little bit of the bounce back off the walls. I could try to change the angle a little bit, but I'm not going to change it a lot. I want you to change up the angle just a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. That to me that's weird, right? When you calling somebody baby girl, that's a weird, like, I just feel like that's a strange construction. I understand where it comes from. It gives me a weird feeling. I get where it comes from though. But you know what's even a weirder feeling? We've been watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, my partner and I, after hearing that Jen Shah got sent upriver for 6.5 years for fraud. The kind of shit that like Bernie Madoff did at a much greater scale. A lot of wire fraud, telling people that their investment was going to pay off and it wouldn't. But she was having people who were registered as like setting up a WordPress site, and she was reaching out to them like, we have words about your home warranty. Like how when you like, if you buy a house, you get a whole bunch of scammers trying to act like your actual home warranty company when they're not. They're just trying to sell you an add-on service. And that's basically what she was doing for these people that set up websites. She would show up in their inbox like, hey, I see that you're starting a small business. Would you like to buy my coaching? I'm going to really get your business off the ground. It's going to be super viral. It's going to be huge. I see $1 million potential in your business. If you just pay me a small 5-figure fee for coaching and website development. And then she, of course, wasn't finishing the websites, and the coaching was very subpar, and people lost their shirts. One lady lost $44K. She was embarrassed to tell anybody she knew until the interview came around. One guy was 92 years old, World War II vet, took his own life after losing $100K in the scam. And there she is on the show, crying her eyes out. I just need you to support me right now. Great television. Schadenfreude through the roof. We watch reality shows about sad rich people, and I'm not saying me and my partner, I'm saying we as humanity. We watch shows about sad rich people on reality TV, because it's good sour grapes medicine, you know? It's like, hey, I wouldn't be happy if I had what the rich people have. But you probably would. Like, you would be less maladjusted because you didn't grow up in it in the spirit of inequity. Poor Mary from that show, she grew up in a literal cult that her grandma was running, married to her grandfather. And when her grandma died, she rose to the position that her grandma had in the cult by marrying her grandfather. Like, to fulfill the religious role or whatever from whatever prophecy they were following. And so if she stops believing that she is the hand of God, she has decades of deep, deep abuse that she's going to have to unpack. So she's never going to be able to stop believing that she's the hand of God. And that's one of the most entertaining things about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is watching this woman who could have been a nice person, but just can't be, because now she has to like hide herself in all of her nice fancy clothes because she never actually felt familial love. There was just religious duty as a child. But the Coates love her. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, a paint sling. Well, I forgot to have the beat on for that take. That was just an acapella take. There wasn't nothing wrong in your mic. No, you do not adjust your television. That was just me. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin'. Of course I'm off time, but that's a great starting volume. Let me get one good take, and then we can do some plugins, and then I'm going to probably call it a night. Here we go. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', God willing, I'ma pop a willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this. Yeah, right there, Jacob was the pay me, needs to not have any breath stress. But fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing. There's two things that annoy me about that take that I'm not going to discuss. I'm just going to fix them. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop. Same thing. Early on the I'm every time almost. It's like you don't want to let the rest rest. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I Get it again. This is why standing helps sometimes. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Alright. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin'. Let me try one more. I'm in the flow now, so I might as well get good takes. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I I'm hip hop until I pop. I'm hip. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop pippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of. All right, run it again. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared. Too fast. Too fast. Swing into it. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby. I paint sling. All right, that's something. Let's try it again. No, don't need to record. Let's just play it back. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. So I don't use Vocal Rider from Waves anymore for two reasons. Number one, if I use Vocal Rider from Waves on my first track, I end up duplicating it and copying it onto every track. And then I decide I don't want to have a vocal writer on every track. I want to have the group vocal written. But then I forget that like makes it really, really hard to mix things within the group that's being vocal written. And then I go back to having it on an individual track, and then there's a time that the track is too loud and I need to quiet the track down, and then I find that I'm fighting with Vocal Rider. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that you can only use a Waves plugin on one computer at a time after the first year, unless you want to pay $30 per year per plugin for the second license, which is actually bog standard for 99% of plugin developers on the market. Waves is not scammy, but it's a good beginner plugin to learn how plugins work, both musically and financially, so that you can make stronger plugin decisions as you grow as a producer and consumer. That's my opinion on Waves. What I will use is my Sound Toys shit. But also, we need some compression, right? I'm fond of... I be rolling like a pavement. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist. Baby, I paint sling. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the that thins it out. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all. So split EQ when that's on there is actually cutting some of the proximity effect that I was using to build the vibe. And I know that they're like, there's too much low end. It's too boomy. We don't like it like this. Professionally speaking, you should fix it. And I'm like, I don't have to be a professional. I just have to make a slapper. You don't have to be a professional to make slappers. You just have to know how it feels to be slapped and how to crave that feeling for others. What do we want behind a compromise? Let's keep it simple on this, because I like how this microphone is like letting me express, and it's going to make it simpler to do everything else. I'm going to add a decapitator. That might be all I need. A lot of times it is. This is like my favorite plugin, and it's the first plugin that I ever really coveted, because it's $200 fucking when it's not on sale. But if you get the whole plugin setup on sale, it's not much more than that, and that gives you like dozens of plugins that you use a whole lot. Like every single one of these plugins I use frequently, and a few of these plugins I use consistently. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. See, I'm hip hop. You get a lot of drive, and God willing, we don't need that I'ma much. Pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist. Baby, I paint sling. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat. My purview as I wrestle with this. I might just do line by line, honestly. Because if I actually did do punch in line by line, that would be really consistent with how Spider-Man makes it across the city. Does Spider-Man sling one web? You know, does Sun Spider sling one web and make it across New York that way? No. You sling one web and then you transition to the next and you transition to the next and you're just psh, 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 psh. And if you played the Spider-Man game on PlayStation, there's a nice little vocal part where Peter Parker is training Miles Morales, and Miles Morales is like, "Yo, Peter, how do you manage to not crash into buildings?" And Peter's like, "Well, you gotta like, you're calculating physics. I know how much I weigh. I know the tensile strength of the webs. I know how long the webs are. I know the wind speed." And he's like, "Are you serious? Are you fucking calculating in real time every single thwip and swing as you go through the city at high speed?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, that's what it takes. You'll get the hang of it, though." And Miles Morales gets there in his own way, right? Because you don't actually need to do cerebral science to get the feel for stuff. You can also have autistic gut feel. I'm deciding now that Miles Morales is autistic. So, you're welcome. Fixed it. Diagnosed by third person. All right, let's try it again.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on a ride.
That's a great vocal.
I'm hip hop until I pop hippin'.
This one maybe guitarish.
I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all.
The P pops, but it doesn't kill me. What if I bring down the mix a little bit, but I bring up the drive? Let's play with that.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat.
That's a trip. I don't even think I installed the Waves plugins on my computer this time because I got so frustrated the last time I had to move the licenses over. So I think I just didn't put them on this one. Yep. I did that. I did that indeed. How many compression options do I have? I'm also in Ableton. Like, this is like the weirdest, it's the most amateurish thing about my approach to music making in Ableton, is that rather than just learning the tools that Ableton has, because look at this, if I want to do compression, I can go in here, dynamics, multiband dynamics, and I have a shit ton of multiband compression options. They're dialed in for me. I have glue compressors. What's this called? Mastering, calming the peaks, right? I think that says sustain. I've used these before. Yeah, add sustain, catch peaks, gentle limiter, make it loud. So sure, let's make it loud. Let's do a make it loud compression after the solid bus and before the decapitator. See what that does.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'm a Papa Willie on the Bible.
And then we'll catch the peaks.
That they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me.
I don't know if a lot of people understand this trick. TikTok says, "Great job, you've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break." And didn't I say about an hour 15 ago that I should turn a fan on? That I should like avoid dehydration headache? And meanwhile, what's going on in here? I'm just standing here. What was I going to do? I was so tired. I wasn't even willing to like run back in here. Or no, this isn't even the right way. It's been so long since I've played. Hang on a sec. In case somebody on TikTok really cares about what I'm doing in this Elden Ring digital space. Oh my god, you guys, I just remembered about the Funk Flex soundboard that I never made. My brain sometimes wants to concentrate on a low triage thing for hours and hours and hours on end, and then I get lost. Literally lost, like I just did. But anyway, Funkmaster Flex one time was on his radio show. And on his radio show, he likes to overuse the bomb sound effect. Like he'll hit the button and it goes... Oh yeah, trust Jesus always. Thank you so much. You are supposed to be hearing this, but only if you go over to patreon.com/third person. Usually it costs you like monthly to like see what's going on the stream. But tonight on a lark, I decided to make it a public situation. So if you go over to patreon.com/third person, you'll see right at the top, Jacob was the case that they gave me. And if you click on that, you can see the actual live stream. The live stream has a feed from my computer. So everything that I hear in my headphones, you can hear on the live stream. I just have to manage my audio. And so if I'm playing audio for the TikTok stream, what happens is it doubles and there's a little bit of latency, a tiny echo that's constantly playing for the benefit of Patreon, and that doesn't benefit them. I want to make sure that the people who are paying for the membership experience are getting the best listening experience, and that everybody else on TikTok maybe has to deal with a little bit of FOMO until they get over there and check out the public stream. That's the marketing strategy, so to speak. But also, you know, I'm cute. My setup's nice. I play video games good. You're not missing too much if you're just sticking around on TikTok, so don't mind it. We're going to purchase a crap ton of bell bearings from these ladies. Look at me pushing circle to go forward because I've been playing so much Switch. People complain about the X button, the Y button, the A button, the B button being different, but when I was 18 years old, I was using Legacy Inverted to play Halo, and I was killing people. And now I play default, and I still kill people in Halo. And everything is learnable, and everything is relearnable, and you should never feel like you're done learning. That's really, to me, when you start being done living, is when you feel like you're done learning. Did I just walked away from them? It's been so long, I forgot to only use the arrow keys. It's literally been like 10 months since I've been in this UI. I want somber smithing stones, but I should just get regular smithing stones, shouldn't I? I've got 14, 16. Let's get up to 16 of every kind of smithing stone. 19, 14, 16. Let's go to 24. 24 is a good number to have. You want multiples of 12 generally. So we'll go to 24 plus 8. Because then you upgrade everything that needs to be upgraded, and then, you know, you wait until the next time you feel like upgrading things. It's a good flow. I am going to buy some of these big somber smithing stones, though. It's just not worth it to stack them up too much. Got one of those, got one of those. Got one of these. And then I'll worry about the lower level somber stones later. But that's going to let me upgrade some stuff in a cool way later. And most importantly, I get to keep the runes that I got from killing the dragon on the bridge when I thought I was streaming the other day and I had forgotten to click the go live button again. There's so many, like Terrible Broseph said earlier, like there's so many different ways that making music on stream can be harrowing and hectic to the extent that you're like, I don't even know if I want to make music for people. I'd rather share with them the music that I have made. That's enough of that. This outfit is dog water too. I was trying to do shit with Poise with like the Crucible Night set, but I don't like the way I look right now. Men's Warehouse style. I look good enough anyway because I'm friggin' divorced Jesus. He's a peach. He looks great. That's the vibe. Let's get back a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll bring it in, a little closer. Come on, Deej. Face the fire. Yeah, that's good. For the stream, that's good. Okay.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby.
I think that's good.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby. I paint slam. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam. Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam.
Windows 7
Fitted
from
for survival,
2012.
back in the captain's seat, declared living
If
on
this
arrival.
computer will
I'm hip hop
dual boot
until I
into
pop
Windows
hippin',
7
and God
still in
willing,
its current
I'ma pop a
chipset
Willie
and
on the
OS
Bible.
configuration,
Jacob was the
that
case
would
that
give
they
me
gave me.
God
Joints full
powers
of
in this
shake, I be
room.
rolling like
That
they
would
paid
give me
me.
the
My
ability to
purview
boot
as I
into
wrestle with
Windows
this
and
was earned
use
through all the stress on my
TikTok
wrist, baby, I
Studio
paint slam.
if it's
Fitted for
compatible with
survival,
Win 7.
back in the
That
captain's
might
seat,
not be.
declared
What
living
I'm
on
trying to do
arrival.
now is kind
I'm
of
hip hop until I pop
give
hippin',
some
and
sound
God willing,
baffling
I'ma pop a
behind
Willie
the
on the
microphone.
Bible. Jacob was the
Just to see
case
if
that they
there's any
gave
other
me.
way to
Joints full of
mitigate
shake, I be
noise
rolling like they paid me.
besides
My purview
editing.
as I wrestle with this was earned
There's a
through
little
all the
room
stress
noise
on my
right now,
wrist,
and I don't
baby, I
think I have
paint
strong
slam.
enough tools for it.
Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival.
Change the
I'm
angle
hip
for
hop
your
until I
benefit.
pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my
Cord,
wrist,
get
baby, I
out the
paint
way.
slam.
Get out the
Fitted
way.
for
Get
survival,
out the
back
way.
in the captain's seat, declared
Move,
living on
Cord.
arrival. I'm hip hop until I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they
People
gave me.
think I wear
Joints full
hoodies
of
just
shake,
for
I be rolling
fashion,
like they
but I
paid
also
me.
wear them
My
so that I can
purview
have
as I wrestle
something
with
that is
this was
soft
earned through all the stress on my wrist,
when
baby, I paint
hard
slam.
surfaces act
Fitted for survival, back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival.
Guess y'all
I'm
can
hip
sit
hop
on top
until I
of the
pop
box now,
hippin',
huh?
and God willing, I'ma pop a Willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they paid me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint slam.
be fine.
Fitted for
That'll
survival,
do.
back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm
Cool. Let's try this again. Check, check. I moved this. I think that by the sleeve being up here, I won't catch as much bounce off corner, corner, wall, and coming back into the back of the mic. Back in the back of the back to the back of the back of the... Now when you're looking at me, tell me, what do you see? I put it in the back of the head of the bully. I love when he says I put a bullet in the back of the head of the bully, and he deliberately softens the pronunciation of bully to sound like police, because the whole album, To Pimp a Butterfly, right, is about Tupac's life and death, which of course was enabled by the negligence of law enforcement. And if you're killing the cop in your own head, right, that's because he deals with suicidality and self-attack all through To Pimp a Butterfly. And then the big conclusion is, I love myself, and unlike what you heard on the radio version of the song for months before the album came out, it's this live block party vibe. You don't actually get to hear the radio single anywhere on the actual album. Instead, you get the much better, in my opinion, live take that's just full of that live energy and just like, I don't know. Kendrick's a beast. I wish he hadn't gotten Kodak Black all of that playtime on the new album, though. Because that man bit that high school girl so hard she went crying to the nurse the next day. Anytime you do something after a live show that sends a high schooler to the nurse the next day and you're a grown-ass man, I don't think you should do things that enable you playing live shows for a few years. And I don't think that has anything to do with the legal system. I don't think it has anything to do with, like, should this person be able to own money? You could be a studio rat and deserve money, you know? Not the worst thing in the world. But because I have these Bluetooth headphones that are plugged in still, I need to, like, turn off Bluetooth entirely on my phone, or else I'm not going to be able to do any more TikTok live streaming. And indeed, it seems to have already frozen completely, so maybe we'll just get off the TikTok live for now. I'm about to close up shop. This is like the last take of the night. Goodbye, TikTok live. Wow! 587 viewers, 5,578 likes, 12 viewers who commented. That's dope. This is doper though, because y'all still here. And look, I can move this wall now over here because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. You hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. All right, let's try this once more.
Fitted for survival.
I did it again. I soloed. Let me solo it.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible.
All right. Try it one more time.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing,
I touched
the Bible.
I'ma fix it. Hang on. I can see with this loop, I'm gonna do the same shit as before, and I'm gonna loop back on myself. So let's fix that up front too. All right. And now I'm at the very beginning of the playhead. We're gonna move back to bar 9. All right. Let's do for real.
Yeah, fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living. I did it again. I'm gesticulating. So what I'm gonna do is move this behind the mic.
Just rotate it like this. Problem solved. Now I can be Italian if I wish.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby. I paint sling.
All right.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby. I paint sling.
It's about the same. Roughly, right? I think it sounds about the same between the two. I don't know if I'm doing myself any favors with this big kalunk sitting behind the mic. That was what I was trying to figure out. Was the kalunk necessary? And I contend that no, it was not.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willy on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby. I paint slim. Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God.
It actually, I don't know. Maybe it did sound better. Maybe it was just how close I was to the mic, though. You know. Every little bit does help. I moved so many soft things out of the home office as I moved things over here. Like as I was taking things off of shelves, I had a lot of like business shirts and hoodies folded up in the corners of the space because I don't have professional like sound baffling, but I know enough to know that like if the corners are bouncing bass back, then you're gonna have some trouble. You're gonna have some trouble. That's a combination of trouble and problems. You're gonna have some trouble. I like it as it is. You know what I'd like it better though? Is if yeah. This threatens to fall, so this might not be advisable. I'm less concerned with if it's advisable than if it makes a difference. If I detect that it makes a difference, I can weigh pro-con on advisability. But until I've confirmed or denied the existence of a pro, it's silly to weigh it against a con. You know what I mean? stretch the sleeve back behind the clipboard maybe. It still doesn't really give us a corner, and the clipboard is probably going to bounce the corner harder than if I put the sleeve over it. Maybe that's where the paper towel roll comes in handy, because it's light, it's soft, we can set it on top here, sort of have it in but not of it. See what that does. Curious, just want to see. We'll do one more dupe and drop. Did I do 2 on accident because I was impatient? No. I'm trying to get better at hotkeys. F9 is the most counterintuitive button when you have a Mac. Like, I can't do shit with F9. The fuck am I gonna, unless is this thing on? I don't think this thing is actually on, because it's solar powered, and there's not a lot of solar down here. You know what I should do? Legit. Watch. Next time I remember that laptop exists, next time I remember that keyboard exists, that shit's gonna be charged up. It's gonna be charged up like that Drake song. Remember the Drake Charged Up? It was such an event. I miss when Drake was like going at rappers' heads, but I guess Pusha T put a stop to that, didn't he? It's hard to go at rappers' heads when you are hiding a child and you don't let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing Border Patrol. Ugh. God, that line still. And every time you see him with his kid, you ask yourself now, like, would he have been in public with his kid in that photo? That one right there, if Pusha T hadn't dropped the track. I get chills thinking about it, man. I don't think I've ever... It's so rare when a rap beef moment feels like it's actually transgressed into something potentially dangerous and real, and not just like for the cameras or for like... Remember when 50 and Kanye were doing Graduation versus... Was it Get Rich or Die? No, it wasn't Get Rich or Die Trying. It was, I apologize. I don't remember the name of 50's album because I only bought Kanye's. But they wanted everybody to buy both. They both wanted everybody to buy both albums. And they both got more sales by doing their little feud. But they didn't hate each other at all, you know? But Push and Drake, when Push said he was going to peel back the onion layer by layer, Drake decided that the battle was done. There was no more beef raps. There was no more songs written between the two of them. It was done at that point. My personal theory is that some of those layers of the onion may or may not have involved the content of some of those DMs that Drake likes to send to child actors to counsel them on relationship things. Always seems sketchy to me. And because Pusha was already starting to make an overarching argument about how Drake was behaving as a fatherless child, that he himself was being absentee because his dad was absentee, I think he was going to try to poke at that abuse bear again and like move it from the neglect bear to the... I have theories, but what was I doing? Rapping.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint sling. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop.
Oh, I did the loop back thing again, didn't I? Sure did.
Fitted for survival. Back in the captain's seat, declared living on arrival. I'm hip hopping till I pop hippin', and God willing, I'ma pop a willie on the Bible. Jacob was the case that they gave me. Joints full of shake, I be rolling like they pay me. My purview as I wrestle with this was earned through all the stress on my wrist, baby, I paint sling.
I feel really bad about saying this, but you know those little half circle foam things that you can put behind a microphone that like makes it a tiny little booth, but it doesn't usually work? I feel like the proximity of the soft hoodie being further away, it was helpful, but not as helpful as when the soft hoodie was a little closer. So much to my chagrin, because I am the guy that also owns one of those foam semicircle things, but it has all these little screw hickeys and doohickeys. I'm going to have to reposition my pop filter tomorrow, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get that apparatus here so that I can, and maybe the apparatus won't be here in that case, right? Because I'm very cluttered in my space. Maybe tomorrow I'll figure out how to get the apparatus like here, you know, because then there will be less, or maybe even just here. And this is where the tension between making the music and making the music entertaining kicks in. Because for me to face the setup has its back against the wall, so I'm facing the wall. For me to face an open space, I'm facing away from the all faces. That's why we have the camcorder though. But I don't think my HDMI cable is going to be long enough for the camcorder to be placed in a meaningfully remote location. So there's just going to be some times that I'm doing one of these. But I'll tell you what, my cell phone could be over there. The TikTok Live could be that would be a true 360. We'll catch it. We'll figure it out. Next order of business, I'm going to make a note about it so I don't forget it tomorrow morning. Compare open Samson with curve foam backed one. I have an alarm that's going to ring in 7 hours and 12 minutes to wake me up for a call that takes place in 8 hours and 22 minutes. That call is with the state unemployment office work talent search representatives, because in the state of Michigan you need to register with this representative to put you back into the job pool in Michigan as soon as possible. And they're the ones that like verify that you're actually trying to get a job, so they keep paying unemployment during that process. The issue is that like they don't really care how or if you find that representative, and it's very like you have to like read a lot of websites and like put things together on your own to figure out what your best next step is. It's very stress inducing for me because I'm always like, I just like to know what the right thing to do next is, and I like to know how many days it's going to be before I can expect something to change. And I don't have that certainty right now. But very grateful to have everybody's support on the internet to give me a little bit more time than I would have otherwise to figure this stuff out. And that's why instead of trying to put a whole album together 2 weeks ago without even knowing these things about my microphone latency yet, I took a little breather and I decided to be a little bit more sane and self-forgiving in my process and pace. And I'm still getting good content out. My TikToks today were fire as fuck. Great day for making TikToks today. Now I've got this first chunk, and it looks like a really small chunk until I look at the overall song and realize there's not a lot more chunks like that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's not even 7 more chunks this size in the whole song. There's a lot of in-betweens. There's a lot of doubling I'm going to need to do. But once we figure out the mic, next up. Do this meeting down here, and then when I open this up, I'll see the screen. That's going to be dope. Let me get killed by something before I log off. Let me get killed by something interesting before I log off. Where do I not go that much? Crumbling Farum Azula, haven't been at that much. It is hard to remember where everything is, like after you've been away from the game for a while. But where a lot of people decide, like, F it, I'm not doing it then. I'm done. I'm done playing the whole game now. I used to be that person a lot, but with this game, Elden Ring, yeah, I love the big hammer. Is the giant smasher so good? Yeah, absolutely. I need to actually like strength out this build so it can do all the things that it's supposed to. Because my first run, which I'm still on, I like it to be a jack of all trades run. There you are. There you are, friend. That's what I was gonna get killed by. I found you. Oh, yeah. Let's get killed. These things always bother me, like emotionally, viscerally. Really well designed enemies. Oh, they hit so hard every time. Oh my god. Oh no. I don't like the look of it. That's it. Elden Ring. What a game. Love it so much. She keeps her nails clean, which I appreciate. You know? They're blue, but they're well done. I'm gonna run it again. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna try to take half its health off at least. On my feet. How about that? I'm gonna shield these attacks. Is that gonna work? Do you think? Should I go ranged? We're like feeling each other out like MMA fighters right now. Lightning Strike won't do it. Frenzied Burst? Can I make a hand go insane? Nice try. Oh, that one got me. That one always gets me. I'm dead. Super dead. Oh, Jesus. Divorced of life once again. Maybe they'll be able to get back together tomorrow. I have my iPad set up upstairs with another PS5 controller so that I can do remote play of Elden Ring. And I think that one of these days I'll probably get on TikTok from my iPad and we'll do a mobile gaming stream of me doing remote play of Elden Ring. And then if I don't have my copy of Windows, oh, I can look that up right before I go to bed. Is TikTok Live Studio? Let's look up system requirements PC TikTok Live Studio. Basically, it lets me run. I think it's going to let me run OBS type streaming things through TikTok when I get it figured out. I have friends, I have mutuals at least, who would be happy to help me through some of these steps. And one of my biggest blockers is that I don't use the other humans in my life that could help me because a big part of my narrative that I try to hold on to for no good reason is that like somehow I need to be the one that does it all. I need to be able to do it all myself. I wonder what anxiety that comes from. It's probably like a separation, anxious attachment kind of shit. Like if I don't have to rely on anybody, then like I don't have to feel let down by anybody. Or I honestly, more accurately, I don't have to feel like I'm going to let anybody down. Talking about system specs, I want to know about OS specs. I'm on a Reddit page reading shit. It is actually bizarre to me that TikTok isn't further along on the live streaming game, but I'm just going to try this from the studio machine tomorrow. I'll probably move the camcorder this will be the thing that I move around, because setting up the fucking webcam, even though it's lightweight and easier to like figure out with plugins and unplugs. Maybe I just answered my own question though. Yeah, I'm just gonna move that over. I'm just gonna take that one back. Why fuck around? And that'll be my webcam. This can stay in here. Yeah, thanks for letting me talk through this stuff with y'all. Another nice long live, and we're gonna see again tomorrow how it goes if I can get into the studio to confront it. It was such a good thing to challenge myself to confront it in the TikTok live. When I say the word confront, right now it's helping me, because the times in my life when I have instinctively gotten myself into the most trouble were times when I was feeling very confrontational. So I knew it's something that's like dangerous for me to sit in too much. And because of that, I'm very keyed into the idea of confrontation as something that has potential. I think it's an autism thing, because I think as an autistic person, sometimes you come across as being an attacker or a confronter when you did not intend to be, when you were actually just trying to like defend your own point or your own understanding of reality, that seems to be like challenged on its face sometimes by somebody that doesn't think about your experience that much. And then you can start to feel like having to confront yourself like that is having to fight yourself like that. But there's a whole other meaning of confront, which is just like recognize that there's tension and step into it. And that's getting more into that DBC, or not DBT, concept of willingness. That like you're not being willful in your confrontation, but you're willingly stepping into the space that you know that there's going to be friction and possibly some tumult. And you just work with that as you can. It helps that I have this cool visual. Like the visualizer is actually really dope to me. When I look at the thing that I've been doing and the thing that I've been making, and I see how it looks on this screen, the only thoughts I really have are like, let's, move this shit around a little more. Let's line this shit up. Let's put a little gap in between these things. Let's have just enough bottom gap here. I might crop all of this stuff out. All the things north of the PS5 controller. As I say it, why not just do it? I've already got a crop. This is going to be a bottom crop because everything is backwards. How I've got it arranged. Bigger bottom crop. We'll do a 400. Yeah, that's about right. That feels good. Yeah. Yeah. And then we set these. Maybe this is the only one that full bleeds. I like that concept. It full bleeds. The light's coming from the back. Down here, we have separation. Up here, separation. Oh shit, but I'm not making space for the live window. Hang on, let me bring it back just to arrange. I think this can go bigger. Probably sit in the middle bottom. Yep. This can come up here. I can be smaller here. This can get bigger. Visually, I enjoy the idea of the music bringing everything together. The thing I don't enjoy is like the little overlap places that makes it feel like a little more haphazard. You also got to watch out anytime you're arranging four things around a center like this. Don't make an accidental swastika. Don't accidentally, invoke a swastika or evoke. I never remember. Is it invoke or evoke? I'm pretty sure it is evoke. Invocation is like saying the words. Evocation is summoning the feeling. Invoke is active and direct, and it can have a material effect. Evoke is passive and indirect, and it usually has an emotional or intellectual effect. Cool, nailed it. What was the other one I was looking for today? Patonym? Patonym. Patonym? Not patronym. Kalunkalunk paradox. Yeah. Is it patronymic? No, it's not patronymic. It's It's something where you flipping the letters back and forth. I know it's not pedonym because that's like people for the ethical treatment of animals. What's really funny is I looked for pedonym on Google and my TikTok came up that I said, "What's this shit called? Pedonym?" Because I can't remember what it's called. Uh, what's it called when you swap letters into words? Don't give me spoonerism. That's not what I'm talking about. I think spoonerism was probably the more accurate thing of what I was thinking of. That's what's tricky. The word spoonerism that I had, and it's not portmanteau either. It's something anim. And it's not the thing that I think it is, but it's something else that I want to remember that's adjacent to the idea of a spoonerism that I thought I could arrive at just by remembering the sounds. But I'll catch it. Sometime this year, I'll catch it again. Look at our tiny little stream we've got here. Such fun. Well, it's getting pretty late for me. And like I said, it's now too late for my partner and I to share a bed this evening because I'm definitely going to wake her up with how I try to get into a bed right now. I'm going to get into this bed right behind me. I'm going to go grab a blanket from upstairs that I knew I shouldn't have brought upstairs, even as I brought it upstairs, because I was like, this is probably going to have to stay downstairs and be on the bed. You live, you learn. All right. Ableton did good for me today. Elden Ring did good for me today. Oh man, what if I played Destiny as well? There's a big part of me that really wants to get into Destiny 2, and there's another big part of me that knows that, like, the part of me that wants to get into Destiny 2 is just trying to not have to think about the job search. Not have to think about writing more code. Because I don't particularly enjoy the thought of going back to work so quickly after losing the work. This is still like such a fun place to run around in. Like, even though I've mostly cleared and like picked up items from this part of the game, and these giants that throw the big rocks are super annoying and stuff, I still think this is dope. Ooh, do I have the opportunity to mimic? Let's do it. Let's bleed a little health and do some mimicries. No? Did it not let me? You better. Yeah, there we go. Let's F him up. Let's F him up. I'm effing this guy up. This giant's about to get ifed up. Come on, buddy. You troll. Oh, you threw it at the mimic first, huh? That's smart. Mimic's probably a bigger threat than I am. Oh, the roar is probably going to alert friends, right? I think, maybe. I don't know. I could let the mimic do it all, but nah. I'm just get stepped on instead. How about that? Get free. Let's do it. Let's make him go insane. Who else is here? Nobody. I'm doing flame cleanse me every time. I'm not even doing the right spell. It's been so long. I can't even like catch things at a glance like I used to. I'm gonna drive you to madness, doggy. Yeah, take the sword out. I don't care. I don't even care. I don't even care. Hit you with a spear, because I didn't even care. Oh, he ducked it. Yeah, this next troll's throwing pots at us. You know, another troll that throws pots at us is the Lord when assigning. It could be Paranym. I always thought it was like Patanym, Patanym, but I think I was exactly wrong there. And so it's like, it's been bugging me, but not like, it's not killing me. I'll be able to forget that I was thinking about it. I think this guy's kind of weakish against lightning in the sense that you could say that about something that's beating me in the mimic up right now. I don't think I'm going to survive this second fight. I like the runes, though. That's not bad runes for an enemy. I don't think I ever really directly confronted these trolls. I lied about that. I didn't like clear it in the sense of like clearing all the challenges of the space. I think I ran through and got items that I wanted. That roll, I forgot about the roll. I forgot he does the roll. So quick and disrespectful with the stomp. Let me use my, I call this my noob flask, because it gives me the free hit that I can take, and then it also gives me the, yeah, let's use it. Let's use a fucking rune arc too. Who cares? And the golden vow. Why not? Oh, he almost caught me there. I should probably go two-handed with the hammer, and then just a big old, yeah, jumping two-hand swing on his back. That was not the worst move. Oh, what a combo! Hit me with a finisher, buddy. Oh, the delay. Did you see that? I know you saw it. He did the, and then he went, and that caught me off guard. I love when they do that, honestly, because people who played a lot of Dark Souls 2 would complain and complain and complain and complain about this mechanic. They were like, I hate how the bosses have 5 different speeds that the attack comes out. But then these same people, like 500 hours of gameplay later, are like, I can't believe this game doesn't have DLC yet. I don't know. Some people just don't like to like things. That's fine. I'd rather enjoy liking things, though. I think liking things is one of the most likable things. Hey, rot dog, let me fuck your ass up. Come on. Shame on a poochie that carries itself like a hoochie. I'm kidding. Let's not slut shame these terrible dogs. They could be slutty. Actually, if they were sluttier, maybe they would be more fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like if they had their own, maybe the problem is that everybody in Elden Ring is undersexed. Like maybe it's all just an allegory about infertility. Like maybe it's like a children of men kind of thing, that like the old order can't be relied on anymore because the old order is now, it's in menopause. It can no longer bring forth new ideas. So the whole world has begun to calcify. I think I just used enough profanity in the last 3 minutes that if I use much more profanity in the next 3 minutes, according to the new rules on YouTube where you can't be too profane, you could get content strikes. Like if your whole content, they said it now, if you're using like swear words in the first 7 seconds of a video, then you should be aware that your video might be demonetized. Like, and this sucks because even content creators that didn't have, hang on a sec, I'm gonna shield bash him. He's poisy. Even the content creators who had made content like 5-10 years ago, where they started with an F-bomb, they were finding their videos being demonetized this year, and that they didn't really have any recourse because you can't like just go back and recut and reshoot a video that you uploaded 6 or 7 years ago to try to have it be remonetized. So people are like complaining that their videos were demonetized. But I also think it's a very valid complaint that there were a whole bunch of YouTubers out there who were getting monetized from the quote unquote life hack of like swear at your audience to be catchy and edgy. It feels like very low hanging fruit. And if that's the thing that you really were using to try to draw people in, I think you knew even when you were doing it that you were being a little transgressive, no? Like the transgression indeed was sort of the promise of your channel. You know that, oh, this guy's always saying wild stuff. Okay, what if you're not allowed to say that kind of wild stuff? Do you have other moves? I always have other moves. The trick to debugging is that you're never stuck as long as there's something else you can think to try. You really are stuck when there's nothing else you can think to try when debugging, though. But luckily, there's almost always something else you can think to try. Going back to that Mr. Beast quote, right, where he was saying, like, make 100 things, try to make them better every time. I am going to do that with my YouTube this year. I'm going to make at least 100 YouTube videos, not TikToks, videos. Because as much as I've talked about how you put yourself in a slum when you let them call you a content creator until you call yourself a content creator. I've definitely caught myself calling myself a content creator a lot. Look at how much I lied about clearing the items in this area. I was so excited to just have two people show up as phantoms and help me through the fire guy. I didn't even realize there were 10 golden runes, or a golden rune level 10. Get out of here with that pot throw. That wasn't going to hit me, and you know it. I wish I had Link's ability to scale this wall. You know what I mean? If it was like Breath of the Wild style. But now as I go around to try to get at where this giant is, I feel like the game's going to put 2 or 3 more enemies on the path that I have to negotiate. Maybe I can double jump my way up. Yeah. I love this horse. This is the only horse I've ever really loved. I can say that honestly. I give a fuck about Epona. But this little demon dog, God, I'd ride him to the depths of hell and back. That sounds like cool wedding vows. Like if you're like Rockabilly's getting married in Vegas. Babe, I'm going to ride you to the depths of hell and back. I promise to always be your backup tattooist. That's love. I'll change my schedule for you on a whim. It's so cool how much this game like makes visible, like all the vantage points here. The world design is astonishing because there's all these points that you can get to in the game and they feel like it's a vista that's been designed like when you're there, but it's not. It's just a really really good world design. They don't send playtesters to every single part of the game and then go, "Oh, we need to redraw the map because this playtester found a boring thing." They just like sat and planned for a long, long time, and they executed. Somebody died here, huh? I should attack him sooner than later because this flask that keeps my runes intact isn't only going to last so long. Did somebody else throw it? Yeah, somebody else threw a pot at me. Damn. I should leave. I should disengage. But there was no time. Who got me? Was it one down the hill there throwing one up at me? It didn't seem to ever arc. I don't even know if I saw who was throwing that pot ever. Yeah, job search process sucks. Mostly because of the face that you have to put on of like a manic confidence in yourself and a really weird kind of saccharine over acceptance of company bullshit. Because like every company aspires to be something different than what it actually is. And it has a mission statement and it talks about culture and it has all of these aspirations about the kind of thing that it would like to be, right? But it can't actually be those things. No company can actually be all the things that it would like to be all the time. So, what sucks for me personally is that I've spent enough time at jobs in tech that now I can really start to smell when a company is less than 18 months away from having their parent company start to change the entire OS or mission of the company. You can tell when a startup is bragging about its last funding rounds that it got a year and a half ago because it's not confident that there's going to be any more funding rounds. And you're going to end up working there, and then within 6 to 12 months, they're not going to be able to pay people paychecks and shit like that. Silicon Valley type stuff. Bush League. Like I'm talking about the show Silicon Valley. I am 37 years old. I have a kid. I have 2 dogs. I am not going to go and be a founding coder at a startup right now. That's not a play that I'm making. Somebody who's 25 who has 12 hours a day to grind it, they can go get it. They can take those jobs. I'm looking for a mid to large size company which will inevitably fail. Like 2 of the last 3 companies I've worked for have failed to keep people around to meet their mission. I'm going to find some place that is a year or 2 before, because it's waves and it's tides. And you shouldn't blame yourself if you're in a place that has these big corporate restructuring layoffs, because honestly, in tech, it's just feast then famine. Billionaires show up and they say, we're going to give you all the money in the world to build all the things in the world and hire all the people in the world, because you're going to have all the success in the world, because all of our plans are going to succeed exactly as they're written. And that's Kool-Aid, you know, and people start drinking it, and then they get excited about impossible things, and then the impossible things don't happen. And then they're like, wait a second, what are all these employees here for? What the hell do you guys even do here? And it's like, literally, we didn't have a charter because you hired us before you had completely fleshed out the runways for the work in some cases. Not every case in tech, but in a lot of them. When there's these big restructurings, it's because some smartass a year and a half or 4 years ago said, we're going to eat the world by being the only company with this many employees in this space, and we're going to get the most stuff done. But then you actually like look at the things that they plan on getting done, and it's literally like a CEO who has not spent 1 hour in the actual workspace doing the actual work, and they're making calls that are completely like exorbitantly overestimated. And then you find yourself going, oh, well, this doesn't seem very safe. And then they're like, oh, yeah, you know, and by the way, we had this plan to do this thing, but we're going to have to pivot and we're going to have to do some other thing. And you're like, okay, well, let's count those up. Because once you have like 2 or 3 hard pivots at a company in a certain period of time, that's your sign that they really are losing the plot and they're just trying to placate their shareholders. When a company gets past the point of trying to take care of their employees and is really trying to run the we need to present value to our shareholders thing, you will start being talked about as a cost center to your face. And that's a really degrading feeling. So, what I prefer is to find myself at a company that is 2 to 3 years before that inflection point. And just like a surfer, I will willingly work for a series of those companies for the rest of my professional life in tech. I don't have any illusions that the next tech job that I take will last me longer than 5 years. But I also haven't worked at any place in tech for less than 1 year. I really do take time to learn how things work at places and to be a part of the culture and to add to it what I can, because there's coworkers there, and not every coworker understands the shape of things the way that I understand it, and so there's always going to be some trauma in the workplace when these things start happening again. And I figure maybe one day, God willing, maybe I'll be able to actually like do some organizational salting type behavior, because if I stick around and I stay viable as a coder and stuff, uh, to earn the boss's respect long enough to stay there, and then employees are like feeling listless and unmotivated and unmoored, and they're wondering what the point of everything is, then maybe I can like look at them and go, hey guys, there isn't one. The point is to, what have you been doing outside of work? That's the point. Is this an invisible path? I don't trust it. I have these stones for this, don't I? Yeah, I do. You trap. Yeah, I'm not getting out there. I just wanted to come back up here and get the view again. It's funny too that this is the eternal flame, because it's like dying. It's not eternal. That shit's cracked. It's sad. This is why I came up here. It's a perfect allegory for what I was talking about. This is right here, as we look out, this is the aspiration of the company, right? We will light the fire that lights the whole world. And then you get close enough at it to look inside it, and it's like, I don't think we're going to be able to light the whole world. And in fact, if we're spending resources as though that's the plan right now, uh, uh, guys, I think the fire is going to go out before we have a chance to use those resources correctly. So it's one of those, yeah, working in tech is not unlike working in Elden Ring. The world's on fire. Some of it's your fault, but most of it's just because these people that thought they were gods but didn't actually have the powers of gods instilled laws and policies that were not sustainable but were also designed to run on their own in perpetuity. but they only run on their own in perpetuity if the people are willing. And once people stop being willing, we run into the situation in the story of Elden Ring own way. And that to me is like when the architect on the project starts looking for an adjacent team to work on rather than finishing the project they're currently working on because they've started to lose a little faith in their individual team. When you have people shuffling like that within teams, there's all these little tells, and not just from the last place I worked at. I'm like combining stories from the last 4 places I worked at for the sake of privacy and stuff. But yeah, you have client expectations that people want to like meet, and you have, it's always going to be some holding company somewhere, some CEO somewhere, there's always some money person somewhere, like an investor, a shareholder, a holding company. There's always somebody with more money than your CEO, and they are your CEO's boss in tech. Almost always. Unless you're at like one of the quote unquote FANG companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Um, and even then, I don't know. Maybe if I worked at Netflix, I'd be aware of like parent company shareholder concerns that I wasn't aware of before I worked at Netflix. I don't plan at working on any of those companies though, um, because those companies are for people who seek prestige from their work. And I don't really seek prestige from my work anymore. I got plenty of prestige in tech. I have all the prestige in tech that I'd ever need because there are at least 500 human beings right now who are gainfully employed in tech who I helped on their journey to get there. And I helped them in material ways. And I affected how they felt about code. And I affected how they talked to themselves when days were hard. And I affected how they talked to each other when things were going well. And I had an effect on people. I had a material effect on many students, and I received weekly feedback to that effect. So I know I'm not telling myself this story because when every teacher would open that spreadsheet on Friday afternoon, that talk about confronting it, that's confronting it. On a Friday, when you've just taught these people and you open a spreadsheet and it might be 5 people saying, I was so lost in the lecture that honestly, I feel like it threw off my entire week this week. I wish that the lecture had gone better at the start of the week. And that's your lecture, so you got to fix that. Hearing it is so hard, but it's much harder to never hear the feedback because then it's just up to you and you to decide, am I doing a good enough job? Luckily, I worked at an organization the first time I was a boot camp instructor that was obsessed about feedback. The original founder said that at his school, the feedback should flow like wine, which is also a nice little time capsule into the alcoholic state of tech circa 2013, 2014. But he was right about how frequently the feedback should be flowing because every single week, when I was a new teacher, learning how to be a teacher, not feeling like I could be a real teacher or make a real difference, I had students telling me the specific things that I could do. Brevity is better than not being brief. Uh, Clear single step explanations are better than a list of 4 or 5 steps of what to do next. And then checking in frequently with one on one time is better than a well delivered lecture. And so you learn these things over how many weeks? I don't know. I spent 4 years working at boot camps. 3 of those years I was getting weekly feedback. I took about 6 weeks off each of those years. I think the first couple of years I might have taken 9 weeks off actually. Maybe I even had 12 weeks off a year because they would grind us. That's right. We would work for 12 and then we'd be off for 3. And then we'd work for 12 and be off for 3. And that was the cadence there. And so nobody worked at those jobs longer than a year and a half. I figured out how to stick around for 3 whole years. It burned me out too. I got too burnt out by the time I was done. I was just waiting for somebody to leave that message. I wanted to make sure that's what the message was. Yeah, it's not the best energy to know all of the things that you don't like about the industry that you're working in, and also to have to accept that, like, I'm going to keep working in it. I'm going to keep doing it. It's lucrative enough. I can find another company like the last company I was at where my back isn't being broken by the rigors of work, and I can have the free time to do hobby things. And I've had jobs that do not pay near what I get now. And so I am very, very aware and very, very grateful always of the fact that like the industry I currently work in does enable me to have things that I couldn't have otherwise, to have safety, to have a location, to have transportation, all these different things that were really dicey in other parts of my life that are just taken care of to the point that you can take them for granted. Everything becomes normal when you do it long enough, right? So I don't want unemployment to be a new normal. And I don't want the feeling of making tech money to become such a for granted normal that I just rush at the next thing because the number is right either. So yeah, that's that. It's the balancing act of like, I'm grateful for something that's, ooh, I didn't even know there was a bloody finger over here. Well, let's do it. Let's fight about it. All right, maybe I'm just going to brute force you. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to bleed to death if I try that again. Probably, right? Maybe a shield bash this time? Try that out. I mistimed it. Ooh, ooh, I'm going to bleed. Yep, that's the blood loss. Luckily, I got a lot of these potions. I should probably keep this a short fight, though. If it's a long enough fight, I'm just going to bleed to death. Pepper you with lightning strikes. Okay, okay. I see you. I respect you. This used to be like the most OP build, but I think they nerfed it. I think I actually have fewer wind-up frames in my heavy attacks now than I used to. Let's try this out. It did not work. It did not work. All right, next time. It's good to know I have a bloody finger to fight up by here. This is actually a perfect size thing for me to get back into the flow of Elden Ring. 1v1 in my main kit. I like that vibe. I'm a point at where I died. I can see the church through the hill. We'll close out here. I hit A again instead of B, so to speak. I'm still talking in Switch. Quit the game as Deej. Get out of here, Deej. See you tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow, but I'm going to wake up in 6 hours. I'm going to talk to the UI people. Not the UI people. The people who are very clear. We're not the UI people. Don't certify with UI through us. And then the UI people are like, we're not the only step to get unemployment. You have to talk to those other people. If it sounds like a system that's designed to keep people away from their unemployment insurance, that's definitely what it feels like to me. Because when I lived in the state of Illinois, not only was the weekly unemployment twice what it is in the state of Michigan, but you just got it for asking for it. Like, they had your shit on file and they were like, yeah, of course, we don't want the fucking tax base to shrivel up just because one company fucked up. We don't want to be the reason that you got bad groceries in 1 week and you couldn't, take care of your fam just because of the red tape. They're like running a functioning government over there in a way that I don't think a lot of Michigan government wants to function, honestly. It's a shame that in the state that I grew up in the state that I came back home to, in Ottawa County, they had a coup recently. Ottawa County is traditionally Republican, but 7 hyper-Republicans came in this campaign to take all of the board seats that were open. And their campaign was all about, like, let freedom ring in Ottawa County, because they were upset that Ottawa County had a more LGBTQ-friendly message. And so even though the city commission was already run by Republicans, they were moderate Republicans, or actually not even moderate Republicans. They were Republicans. And then these far right fucking fascists show up. And like the first 2 things that they did were change the slogan from all are welcome to let freedom ring. And then the second thing they did was, I think they closed the entire diversity, equity, and inclusion department in the county. And then the third thing that they did was they took John Gibbs, who was running for office in Grand Rapids, Michigan in the last election, and who had a failed candidacy because he was a Donald Trump guy, and nobody wanted to vote for a Donald Trump guy in Michigan in this election, not even in conservative Grand Rapids, which should have been a sign that was like a death knell for his career. But no, they installed him as the like the boss of Ottawa County, basically, the county administrator. And that part's the scariest part to me, because he's clearly being groomed for a governor's seat or national office on the back of the fact that he is a dark-skinned black man who has Trump mindset. And I don't know. There's just something about that that really rubs me the wrong way. I hate feeling like black people are being used as pawns by a party that does not actually care whether they're free or not. I don't like when somebody decides to Uncle Tom it, frankly. You know, like it's a bad way to be in the world as a black man, to consistently be grasping at the kind of power that lets you subjugate other people in the US. Like, you should have enough self-respect and knowledge of your own history to know that that can't be you. That can't ever be you. That can't be the thing that you're doing in your life. And just that somebody who's aligned with that shit, that they clearly tried to prop up and fuck up like my community, and then they couldn't do it, and it felt good for a couple of months, and then they just took them right next door. You know, I just watched Spotlight on HBO, and it does remind me of, like, they had a priest, the priest had a problem over here, they put the priest somewhere else, so the priest could maybe continue to be a problem, but just somewhere else. It just feels like there's a much stronger apparatus on the right now to take its reusable human resources and to reuse them as much as it can. And maybe that's why I'm upset about John Gibbs. I think that's why I'm upset about John Gibbs, because I don't think that the Democrats anywhere, let alone Michigan, are running the same kind of disciplined game that the Republicans are running to keep adding experience points to their loyalists, right? To the people that will throw an election in their favor. That's the real game, is that they want to have people in charge in all of these places in Michigan, so that when it comes time to certify an election, they can just certify it all GOP. And I remember being 16, 17 years old and really afraid of a constitutional convention. That used to be my big fear. Oh, thank God. My buddy just told me that Megan was a hoot. The Megan with a 3 about the android that starts killing people. I'm really excited to see that one. And I'm glad to hear that it was good, because I was going to watch it anyway, even if it was bad. It's better. Aw, someone just said Stephen Lynch needs to be afraid. This is great. Ah, that makes me feel so good. I'm going to make a TikTok about it, and then I'm going to log off and go to sleep. This really warms my heart to hear. Thank you so much. Bob Larkin, Stephen Lynch. I'm trying to fucking remember. Who else was it on Comedy Central? There's people I remember. Yeah, it's like somebody said the great thing about the movie was that you're watching this like hyper killer robot that's just cutting people up and serving C. I was like, what a great thing. I'm gonna thank this person. Thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate this compliment personally, because I grew up watching Comedy Central, and Stephen Lynch's musical comedy always cracked me up. Always cracked me up. And it's just nice to be in the same sentence as him. I really appreciate it. That works. I really did like Bob Larkin too. He did one song on one Comedy Central special, like eclectic thing, and it was "You're My Twin," and he was like, "You're my twin, my own twin brother." Something like this, and then he said like, "And on the day I was born." On the day we were born, he said, "And then I came out and my parents laughed. And then you came out and they cried and cried, 'cause they only wanted one. And you ruined all their dreams." I love that. It's like, it's really, let me see, actually, hang on. This probably isn't allowed. I don't give a shit. Wait, on Spot, no, I can't be playing Spotify on YouTube. This is what sucks. Is like, I have to reproduce shit. I have to care about all of this like copyright nonsense. It's not nonsense. I mean, I'm sure that Bob Larkin somewhere is still getting residuals from Comedy Central somehow, and he wouldn't want me to steal his thunder, which I guess means I'm gonna have to do a parody of his music if I want to share it. This was a good night. It was a really good night. Thanks for joining me for this. I've confronted it, and now I know what my next steps are for getting good vocal takes. I'm not afraid of the sound of this USB microphone. I'm not afraid of the latency of the USB microphone. I think that the next time that I sit down in the studio, which I intend to be tomorrow before dinner time, is going to be a time that I am continuing to figure out how the microphone sounds and increasing the velocity with which I punch in these takes. Next time, I also intend not to delete so many takes and redo them. I intend to start leaving things up, working until I get a piece that's good enough to leave up, and then trying to catch enough of the main verse stuff that the ad libs can sound different when I record them on different days, and it'll still be like sonically similar. So, yeah, for sure. Happy to share, happy to confront. Thanks for being a part of this one as always, Dustin. I always appreciate your presence, Jacob. I appreciate your presence too. Every time Francis is on here from time to time as well. I see him showing up in the chat when like work schedule things permit. And oh, well, wouldn't you know it? It's Wednesday just now, which means that I'm 2 sleeps away from Thursday. I'm gonna sleep today, and then I'm gonna sleep tonight. I'll sleep for 5 hours, and then I'll sleep at the end of Wednesday, and then it's gonna be Thursday, and then because I'm not working, there's a part of me that's like, what if I did a 3:33 stream, like 3:33 p.m. might be an interesting time to do a stream, because 9/11 might be too late with this new med that I'm on. When I was started, I have to be honest with myself. When I started doing the 9/11 streams, it was great as like a numerical joke for me to remember. But then ever since I've been on the nighttime med, it's really, really hard for me to honor my commitment to taking my meds every day and also be committed to music at a time frame that makes sense. And I don't want to fuck with my mental health for the sake of music like that, but I also don't like to fuck with my sleep for the sake of mental health like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like a braid. It's like trying to tie a braid into a different shape of braid. A lot of things to watch out for. In any case, it's been a lot of fun. I'll catch y'all next time, which will probably be not too long from now. I'm excited to hear that the sound has been pretty good. This damn Yeti mic is doing such a good job. People shit on Yeti mics. I don't think people should shit on Yeti mics as much. Yeti mics are fine. They get the job done, and they get the job done well enough for, I'd say, 95% of people. And they cost, what, $80? I think they used to cost like $120, and now I think you generally get them for $80. Take care. In any case, I've got all these damn sources I gotta manage. Everything's looking good on here. Elden Ring like bleeding into the red background. I'm gonna have to clip this stream, I think. This is gonna be a stream that I clip for content. Maybe the first YouTube video that I make in 2023 will be a clipped stream. Because then if I streamed 100 times this year, all I'd have to do is improve on the clipping 100 times. And that could be my Mr. Beast work.